Hey everybody, this is Dream, and today we have a nice little two-game NBA slate for you. I hope everybody cashed yesterday. I had a really great day with NBA and with college basketball, and also with college football. So I will be posting write-ups for college basketball in the YouTube membership section as well. So make sure to check those things out. Before I get started, can you guys smash that like and subscribe button? Also, really do appreciate it. For this particular slate, we just have a small little injury report, and it comes from Orlando with Fultz being questionable and Carter Jr. out and Harris out. That's really the only big concern. Could check to make sure that Middleton does in fact play today, but it does look like he will play on the slate, so we'll have to wait and see. But for sure, but he does look like he's going to play. As for this video, I'm actually just going to go over my top overall plays here. Just overall, I'm not broken down by position. I mean, there's just only a handful of players even playing today, so let's go and get into it though. So we're going to start with Giannis. Now, Giannis is an interesting spot today because yesterday he got thrown out of the game despite not doing anything. He had already gotten a technical foul for some reason, and which I'm not aware of, but he did get a second technical after he got a dunk, and they just threw him out of the game. So I imagine he's going to come into this game on fire, really angry and ready to just dominate this game and score a ton of fantasy points as a result. He was really close to a really good game yesterday, even though he only played 22 minutes. So look for him to have a dominating performance today, especially since it's a back-to-back where other guys had played more minutes yesterday. He can take the reins on this one and blow it up. We'll also look at DeJounte Murray for Atlanta. Now he's been surprisingly consistent this season. He's had a couple of low floor games early in the year, but he's had a bunch of good games in a row, and he's shooting the ball a lot and playing a ton of minutes. And his price has popped up a little bit as a result, but traditionally I don't like him so much because he does have a low floor, but the way he's been playing, he's definitely worth consideration on the slate, especially on a tiny slate like this. Then we're going to look at Brook Lopez for Milwaukee. Now he does carry risk, but uh, I'm looking at him quite frankly because of his history against Indiana. I looked over the last 4 years, and I could only find a couple games where he didn't do that well against them. Last year, he faced them 3 times and scored 30 fantasy points or more all 3 times. I look for that to continue today with this matchup here against Indiana, so he's definitely somebody to consider on this slate, and he's priced pretty fairly, even though he does have a very low floor at that price point. Then we're going to look at Bogdan Bogdanovic for Atlanta. Now, I do have no idea why his price has kept dropping. He's played extremely consistent. I know it's probably due to the minutes, but because he only plays somewhere between 25 and 27 minutes each game. But he has been extremely consistent so far this season, scoring in the 20 fantasy point range in almost every game except for the game against Minnesota. He's been over 20 fantasy points, and he only needs 22 fantasy points to pay off here. So he's a great floor here, a very solid option on the slate, very cheap, and gives you a lot of upside to pay up other positions. And then we'll look at Okongwu for Atlanta as well. Very similar to Bogdan, he does come off the bench, but he has been very consistent since the first couple games where he's really just come out and done very well. He has double potential, even though he's only had one so far. He has been getting more and more rebounds game to game, so I really like his upside in this matchup here against Orlando, and he's been surprisingly consistent as well. And his price has also come down from where it's peaked couple games ago, and so he's definitely in play on the slate as a great option. And then finally, Jalen Smith for Indiana. Now, he's going to be the higher risk of the four that I mentioned here. But again, he's playing less minutes, but he is playing consistently. And if you look at his stats, he's only had one game under 20 fantasy points as well. And so that gives him some really good upside as a floor here. Good safe play at this position. Again, the minutes are very concerning for him, but he's playing well in the few minutes he gets. If any type of injuries happen for Indiana, then that would definitely give him a lot of upside potential. As I think he's taking some minutes from Toppin, who really is starting, but he's not playing as many minutes as traditional starters do. But overall, I think these four guys are definitely a good core, and then you can kind of build other options around them. That gives you a lot of money left over, so we got plenty of stars on this, expensive plays on this one with like Halliburton, Giannis, Lillard, and Young. And so you can just kind of pick and choose between those guys. Even Turner has some upside on this matchup as well. But overall, it's a very interesting slate. I think it should be a good one. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them below, and have a nice day, guys.